I usually don't talk about this here because most of the time I usually do like a mini retrospective. And well, to be honest with you, that's the reason why I want to talk about this. We need to talk about the state of anime games. So I'm kind of doing this video off cuff, if I sound different or if I sound too pausy or if I sound too low or something, I'm just doing this off rip. I apologize, but I kind of just wanted to get this off my chest. If I peak in the audio, I'm sorry. But I really wanted to get this off my chest. I've been playing a lot of old anime games lately, and it's kind of brought me on to think about the state of modern anime games. The first thing I want to talk about is the archetype that these anime games have consolidated to, the arena fighter. Arena fighters, if you don't know, basically you fight in a 3D arena against another opponent. Usually they are low execution with a very low entry barrier, which is great for some and amazing for casual players. Basically you just mash one button, or they put in tools and stuff that are easier than your average 3D or regular fighting game in general. And there's nothing wrong with arena fighters in a nutshell. I like them. So like I like the past Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games, and that's about all I can think of off the top of my head. But that kind of encompasses the problem though. A lot of these anime fighting games, or a lot of these anime fighters or anime games in general that come out, are forgettable. Not only because of their style, but because they are made by the same companies and developers over and over again. A lot of the arena fighters are made by the same three developers: Spike Chunsoft, CyberConnect 2, and the newcomer Viking. Because of this though, a lot of the fighting games feel similar to one another, and they all look like they came from the same anime game, Salt Mine. Oh, I just thought of one. The same feeling that you get from watching Jujutsu Kaisen, it probably feels similar to My Hero Academia's One Justice. Well, it's because they are developed by the same developer, Viking. This extends to games like Jump Force and One Piece Burning Blood for the same reason. Most of the time, these games feel like they come out halfway done. And this is not anime games, this applies to pretty much every game. And in some cases, they really do come out unfinished, like Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm's Connections. When this happens, most people move on from the game quickly, and the only thing that tempted them to stay was the IP, and it's not even about the game itself. And I think that Bandai, the publisher of 9 times out of 10 of these games, bank on that. They don't care to keep the servers up for long for their games, especially if they drop player bases after a while. Another one I just thought of was the One Punch Man game. That game had 1 year before getting shut down, and guess who developed that game? Spike Chunsoft. Especially because they come out relatively close to one another. More often than not, they come out multiple times a year, sometimes months apart, maybe 1 or 2. Sometimes they even do updates on the same day for their games. It's gaming is like food, in my opinion. You had a great experience with a restaurant, CyberConnect 2 and Bandai Namco. They gave you great hospitality. The food came cooked thoroughly, and while it had some flaws, you enjoyed it enough to recommend it and come again and again. The problem was that it was the only good food on their menu, and now they're trying to replicate it to every other meal that has those ingredients into the same dish but slightly different, aka the Storm formula. Almost every game they do now kind of replicates the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm success, and I get why. These games do sell, and as consumers we buy what we know. We know what we're getting with these arena fighters, so we gravitate towards them. Outside of being the only one making them, it's the reason why sports games sell every year despite people knowing that those games are trash as well. And companies don't see the outcries we have on Twitter or whatever, or Facebook or wherever y'all, or even YouTube, about the quality of the games. They only hear the card swiping with their cut of the $70, like Jump Force. If I remember correctly, that game actually sold really well. I did a mini retrospective of that. If you want to hear my thoughts on that game, I'll probably link it, probably not. They try to make different styles of games from time to time, like One Piece Odyssey or Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, also made by CC2. Dragon Ball Fighters, but in the end, people just go back to what they know, the arena fighters. On the topic of Dragon Ball Fighters, man, I thought it was gonna be a renaissance for anime games. I thought it was a game that we really needed. It was something different. It sold 10 million copies, and it got, and to an extent continues to get support all these years later. I thought we were going to at least get a One Piece fighters or a Naruto's fighters, but instead we got more arena fighters. Am I a little bit biased because I like 2D and 3D fighting games? Yes, I'm not gonna hide that. Even the proposed idea of having more fighters clones falls in line with what I'm talking about now, with the oversaturation of arena fighters. While anime games don't have a lot of fighting, 2D, 3D fighting games, it would still come into this problem where we still get the same kind of experience over and over again until we get tired of it. But the problem is that even if those games were to come to market, how many people will buy them compared to the arena fighter that they can make in about 2 years, maybe less than, I don't know, and get some return on investment? Let me take a quick moment to talk about the net code. This just came up out of nowhere. Just thinking about these games. Trash. Nah, they garbage. They are the garbage bin that has been nestling in trash juice for multiple years. And this isn't just like an anime game problem. Up until recently, most fighting games had this problem as well. The problem now is that these anime arena fighters still have this bad net code. And that's the reason why people leave. Well, at least one of the main reasons why people leave. I had mentioned before that Naruto Storm Connection had launched and complete. Well, apparently you couldn't even invite friends until they patched it, either today or yesterday at the time of the recording of this video, I don't know. And this was like 2 months after the game is released. That's sad. I don't want to sit here and just talk about the problems. I want to offer solutions. So what's the best way to fix these issues? The obvious would be to stop buying these games, but you can't get hundreds and thousands of people, millions of people to stop buying these types of games. They just sell too well. We can ask for better, but because these games sell so well, publishers don't care until the money stop printing. Well, this kind of like a chicken and an egg situation, or maybe it's just conditioning. With only a few suppliers of anime games, we kind of been conditioned to expect these type of games to be mediocre, unfinished, have bad netcode, come with missing features and things of the like. If we had more publishers willing to take the risk of dealing with the pirate, it would probably force competition for better games. The problem is that they seem to go to the same developers for the games, like Sega did with the Demon Slayer game. They went to CC2. And after sitting down and going through and talking about this or rambling about this for a while, it's kind of hard to find a perfect solution for this because there's so many factors that go into these games, whether it's investors, whether it's the consumer, whether it's the publisher. I feel like we all play a part in these games getting released because there's no other explanation for why these games are being released like this. Well, anyway, thank you for listening to me ramble about this stuff. I truly want to make this situation better for anime games. Tell me how you would remedy this situation in the comments or something, you know, give me an idea or something. What would be the perfect anime game or the perfect type of style of anime game? Or if you wanted more arena fighters, it's all good to me. Just let me know. Also, while you're here, like and subscribe. I kind of want to hit my goal of 50 subscribers. I know it's not a lot, but it's like a small personal goal for me, and it will make my day or week.
What are you doing, Dad? Cut it out! You're embarrassing me!